Hello, Travis here, and welcome back to Factorio Space Age. In the last episode, I finished up this red circuit fabrication using a technique known as belt weaving to basically compact this build down. And if you think this is nice, wait until we get into the later in the game where we can most definitely compact this down even more. But I have to say it today. Today is the day. We're going to make science once again. So let's not waste any time and get into this. So the first thing we're going to probably do is work on sulfur. Oh, and another thing, I didn't really I didn't properly touch on it on the last episode. But basically, what all this is we're basically attempting to take care of imbalances in the system, which is not exactly working, but basically we're light oil is going to be a kind of a bottleneck, followed by heavy oil. So what we're going to do is we're wanting to crack it down using light oil and heavy oil cracking. Now, I could tinker with circuit conditions for this to basically make it more dynamic. But basically, when we have a deficit of petroleum gas and a surplus of light oil, we want to prioritize cracking light oil down into petroleum gas, which is useful in making the plastic and sulfur which we have down here. The reason we want sulfur is for one, sulfur is part of chemical science, and when we get into does production science need oil products apart from apart from electric furnaces and red chips? No. We can make the stuff for yellow science, but not necessarily make yellow science quite yet. And I have my reasoning for that. Um, we need sulfuric acid for the processing units, which is our blue chips, which need sulfuric acid, and we need sulfuric acid for batteries to make the flying robot frames, and we kind of talked about that. We also need plastic for LDS, but we'll cover that when we'll cross that bridge when we get there. For now, let's work on our water. Where's my water? Um, gonna sneakily run us through our smelting array. And we're probably, this water actually might be the closest, so let me grab my offshore pump and start working my way back towards water is effectively infinite. Though we can't make water fill. Though, if you've heard of space exploration, the famous meme of "Fu water fills your house," there are mods for it, and that said mod used to be fairly busted. And if you know the reference I'm referring to, legendary I'm gonna go grab some more pipes. Oh my god. I didn't do a whole lot off camera, aside from maybe finishing up the red circuit build, and I started automating labs down here. I'm going to slightly restock on ammo. Just in case. The factory is still largely undefended, so kind of have to use my brain cells to prevent any dangerous attacks from sneaking through. Probably need a pipe extension. Wow. Or not. So that will be our sulfur. Can I catch this train back to the factory? It's probably better to walk. Might be wondering why I use prod modules in the turbo plants, and my answer is I don't know, to be honest. A lot of my module distribution is a bit questionable, but a lot of it comes down to I want to see nicer numbers and my on Factorio Labs. So that was that. Are you serious? Trees are the enemy, remember? They're conspiring against you. They're the worst, I tell you. The absolute worst. And steel and coal and sulfur in the same belt. I do have my ways of doing that, and I am aware that this my oil outpost is a, so I'll just have to keep my eye on that every now and then. Guess who's ready to make another smelting stack? One that I forgot. Excuse me, being stuck on a belt. I'm just alright. We'll just siphon a little bit off of this I'm not really caring all for alright. The more you play, the easier these tend to get. Good enough for me. The primary use of this stone, we don't need like all its own. We need like a single belt of stone for both smelting and so this really doesn't need to take up all that much space. Heck, I can probably just put the stone smelter right here and In fact, I've probably killed more trees than actual enemies of grenades. I should make an effort to try and show off some of the other defensive items, but at the end of the day, rocket spam is often the best, and turret creep are often the best ways of offense. That's convenient. Gonna be stamping down some blueprints just so we can because solar power is free, doesn't consume energy, and is generally pretty nice. I am keeping eyes on some of these nests. So if I'm not paying attention, attacks can basically come happen out of nowhere. Trees. Alright. We don't even really need that big of a stone smelting array. Which is why I'm building it by hand. Robots are coming to clean that up. I forgot I needed to put, I don't have a substations automated. That's called oops. And we're going to combine and 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3. That was after actually before steel. Which means this is wrong. Awesome! Alright. For that, although we do have to put power, that actually, I was not wrong. But I was also wrong at the same time. Because I have like several extra lanes. Which isn't a bad thing to have. And only serves to make my base look more cartoony. Let's add this to the bus. Alright. If I believe correctly, copper, iron, green. We don't need blue. Stone, steel. We're ready to make science. course, this is actually not going to take all that much. Do not, blue circuits can be kind of daunting, material-wise, but in actuality, they're, quite cheap. So this tiny area, especially since, while it requires 3 ingredients, one of them is liquid sulfuric acid, which we can just make on, we can probably just make on site. Let's get into building some science. That's what the last 10 episodes, I believe, has been getting into. I think I want to make my science over here. We'll start off with red science, automation science. We need 10 of these. Although, this is a bit premature, because we need our, one thing of gears. Yeah, one thing of gears. Kind of for prod modules and because can. Alright, and we're gonna need that, and I'm gonna take a brief moment to resupply. But this should be red science. Again, it's very easy to make, and it only gets easier from here. I need to make this. Alright. This will allow me to power my new solar because I still don't have a automation for that, like a goofy goober. Oops. I just realized I have two things for, that's why I wasn't getting any long-handed inserters. Another rare quality module. I'll have to find a place for that. But let's not get distracted and keep plugging on. Next sign's going to be green signs, and it's going to be a fairly easy one. Green circuits and iron products. We're going to need 12 assemblers of green. So, for assemblers, we need basically need to create belts and inserters. Another fairly easy one. Let me alright. We don't need to. Might have to go into remote view editing in a moment because a lack of belts and a lack of need to. Alright, now we have a... Alright. This should be all for green science. And I'll wire up the power in just a moment. I was going to say, the base will only start ramping up from now, and unlike my copper vein, which is not looking too hot right now. Yep, I saw that coming. Belts, 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 belts. Alright. Next, we're gonna work on military science, because that's another easy one. And it's one that won't be technically be producing at a deficit, because blue science, my ratios require Probably gonna have to be slick with how I use these patches for what I want to do. Military science. Let's get started. First thing, the walls. Military science, again, is did you remember to put stone bricks on your bus? And to be able to do that, we're going to do this trick that I kind of used to filter stone bricks back on and off the bus, like so. We only need one thing of walls, believe it or not. Now, grenades. Grenades are probably going to be the more annoying one. So not because grenades need a lot of throughput, it's because they take a long time to craft. So we're going to how I want to do this. When to do this to get. Is there better ways of thing? Yes, like not mixing products on belts. Is certainly one good trick. I realized I was a little bit off of my thing, so we're just gonna have to you know what, I'm gonna be sneaky and come combine the grenades and the walls like so. Next, we're going to do ammo, which we can since we have iron here, we're going to start. One. Going to run. Offset that. This. Alright, and of this we can military science, we need 10 of these. Alright, with military out of the way, let's work on blue. The big blue. Fortunately, we already have actually made 2 out of the 3 products that we need for blue cyan. And that's red circuits and sulfur. Some more. So now we need to make the engine units, and for we need to make 12 engine units. Which I'm hoping will be. Trying to figure out. Alright, it's gonna need a 2. Which I'm probably gonna do. Gonna do that. And engine units also need yeah, gears. But we only need one thing of gears. Maybe a bit closer than to the assembler than I wanted, but it'll work. I don't think I need to bring yeah, that should be now this engine units are gonna be assembler freeze eventually. But again, we will worry about that when we cross that bridge in the future. I did need to bring fortunately this design is pretty well gonna be the yeah. This is why I often hated engine units. Engine units weren't really even the worst part of chemical science for me. The red chips in sulfur. It was the engine units because I lacked a thing called patience. Alright, these are gonna be green assemblers at some point. Assembler freeze. Alright, let me get my engines down. Now I just need the steel. So I'm going to worm my way into the build right here. And there we go. It isn't completely finished because I have to belt up all the things. But this, in theory, should yeah. Stuff like what I've done is why I put circuits in and I'll add lights. I'll add lights after this video. Don't you worry. That's red being powered up. That's green. Military. And last but not least, chemical science. Which is really just engine unit science, but who's not to say it? And with that, we have a science. I'm going to call it a episode. Right here. Yeah. 10 episodes of work amounted to certainly not nothing. Now, of course, it helps that I have a well, And I'll properly label my science packs just so for viewing pleasure. Probably more my viewing pleasure than anything, but and chemical science. We will for the time being, I've accomplished what I've came to do. Again, if you liked today's episode, go leave a like. If you have any questions or concerns, leave a comment. And if you want to see more Factorio Space Age, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next time.